Okay.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Great. It looks like we're live. Wonderful. Good to have
Yes,
everybody here. It's great to see my colleagues. And inside of this COVID pandemic, it's wonderful to see friendly faces. Hi, George.
Hi.
Hi, Lily. Hello. Hi.
hi.
Great to see you. And then
Thank
Yes,
you.
we know we'll see him shortly as soon as he gets his connectivity worked out. So wonderful to see all of you. I'm so happy to be
exactly.
here. Thank you very much and welcome to everybody who has joined us for our second session in our webinar series. It's a three-part series that Building in Kenya, myself as a co-author and Emma Miloyo as a co-author, is happily doing in partnership with BuyRentKenya and our dear friend Lizzie. So thank you so much for being here. This is our, we've had a moment to kind of settle into life in a pandemic, isn't it? We've had a
Yeah,
moment, that initial shock and all of the concerns and fears and how are we going to do this and what is life going to be like, and oh my goodness, all of that has kind of subsided a little bit. We've had a
yeah,
chance to observe and look around the world, how the rest of the world is adapting, and get some health guidance on how we can be safe. But as they say in show business, I think we can translate that and say it in real estate business: the show must go on.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
The show must go on,
Yes.
and so whatever that new show is, whatever the new song is, we're going to put on our new dancing shoes. We're going
Yes.
to also adapt for all of that and be ready for that. So those of you that have joined us, it looks like we're up to about 73 people who have signed in so
Wow.
far.
Nice.
And we know those numbers will continue to rise. Thank you so much for being here. It is a demonstration of your commitment to your business. It's a
Yes.
demonstration of your commitment to the success of this sector. It's a demonstration of the success of providing houses and commercial spaces for people to reside and to conduct their business in. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Okay, so we're going to jump right in, and I'm going to, if you give me a few moments. Okay, so we're going to jump right in, and first, what we'd like to do is I'm going to introduce the panel that's with us. Actually, I'm not going to do much introduction. Just going to say hello to them and let them introduce themselves briefly. Um, and then I'm going to have us jump straight in. So let me see here. Lizzie, if you don't mind introducing yourself, saying hello
yes,
to people that have signed
yes.
in this morning.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Good morning, Robin, and thank you for hosting us and moderating our panel this morning. We are delighted to have you. Good morning to our audience. Thank you for joining in, and really excited to see and hear about your feedback during the session and what you'd like us to present further to you. So I'm Lizzie Costabea, CEO of BuyRentKenya. BuyRentKenya has been in the business of being a property marketplace for the last 6 years, and we're very proud to host in partnership with Building in Kenya. Very proud to have my colleagues on the panel, which is Optivan and Access Real Estate, Kenya Developers Property Association, KEPSA, my colleague VG. So very, very excited to have everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And then, George, if you'll take a moment and introduce yourself and say hello. Good morning.
Wow, thank you. Good morning, all the viewers who are logging in from different parts. We are so happy to see you. Morning, Robin, to see you once more. You used to be my boss. You are still my boss. And thank you, Liz and BuyRentKenya, for organizing this particular forum for us to resuscitate our industry, real estate. And I'm also good to see my friend Gigi, this is very interesting. And I'm sure that the members have a lot of questions. And you're going to discuss how we can be able to make sales even during COVID. So thank you once again. Thank you.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. And VG, happy to be able to see you. Let's see here. Okay, a little bit of feedback over there, but VG, can you take a moment and introduce yourself and say hello to, now we have up to 80 people joining us.
Thank you very much, Robin. Thank you for being the moderator of this event, and I'd like to thank BuyRentKenya and, of course, Building in Kenya for organizing this webinar. It's very exciting to be part of this experience. Everyone was talking about COVID-19, talking about post-COVID. The question is, when you ask somebody, so when will it be post-COVID? No one knows. So we just have to let's live with COVID. That's the new thinking. How can we live with it? Let's not wait for it to end, because we don't know when it will end.
That's right.
Real estate and the construction industry is going to go through a lot of changes. We need to start thinking of how to do things differently. During the webinar, I'll be able to say that it's not all gloom, I have to say. Because when you talk to some industry players, some of them are saying they're doing deals. So it will be interesting to see why there are new deals being done. And the real estate sector has not stopped. So for all those who are invited and accepted to join this webinar, thank you for joining. We've got a very great team, and it's nice to partner with BuyRentKenya, and it's nice to partner with Robin, and of course with George at Optimum. Thank you very much.
Okay, wonderful. So let us start right off the bat, and let's do some myth busting here. Let's start right off the bat and do some myth busting. We have the capacity to take a poll. People in the call with us can chime in on a poll. Let's see here, and I want to just hear from everybody. Is it true or false that during a pandemic you cannot convert sales? Let's do some myth busting. Is it true or false that you cannot convert sales in a pandemic? So please, if you'll look, those of you that are with us, hopefully that it's open. My team can confirm that that the poll is open. You can look on the poll and just let us know, is that true or false? And I think I'm going to go around in a circle in the room here and let the panelists give their weigh-ins. True or false, Lizzie? Can you convert sales in a pandemic?
I believe you can. I definitely believe you can. Like you said in the beginning, the show is not over. It's not all doom and gloom. What I do believe is that, one could say, has the sales process changed? I don't believe it has. I think it's just the way we now do business. Business is still doing business the way they normally do. It's just the shift that we now have a work from home situation and how you adjust yourself to it. Customers' succession is your succession, my succession, right? It's not about how much commission I'm getting. It is, what does the customer need and how do we respond by delighting customers in a time of crisis?
Okay, wonderful. That's one way in. Let's see. George, what do you say?
I think it's possible to do sales because we are in an industry whereby the products are required by the communities, by individuals, by corporates. Every Kenyan requires a residential home. So there are people out there who are looking. And also remember, during this COVID, there are people making money, people supplying thermometers, sanitizers. I have seen government pay, and these are the people we are targeting. Yes, you can still do sales even during this time. But as Gigi said, it's about doing it differently and thinking differently and getting these people coming in the pipeline.
Okay, wonderful. We're going to get into that different thinking, different way of doing business in just a few moments. VG, let's get your thoughts. Is it true or false that you cannot convert sales during a pandemic? What do you say, VG?
Well, the quick straight answer, false. Okay. What's happening is that, as I explained to you, that can you hear me? Okay. Is that there's still some sales that are taking place. I have a client, there are clients who are indicating that they have done very good sales. I'll give an example, like Tato City are still saying that they're doing good sales. So what is happening is that because of the new way of working, people have then realized if you can work from home, it means you can work from anywhere, which therefore means that I don't have to be stuck in a flat in Kilimani, in Keleleshwa, in Lavington, or wherever, or Eastlands, or whatever. I can be able to go out of town and live in some place where at least you've got some clean, fresh air, with a little garden and a place to walk around. So I'm sure Optimum, Amani Ridge will start selling, because
it is selling.
It is selling, seriously.
Yes.
Because what now will somebody will now, the difference you'll now make is that you will build your own house with, design it with a home office, because that's going to be the new thinking. When we used to think that every bedroom must be en suite, now every home you must have an home office. You must have a study. And it will be enjoyable to spend time at home and not be stuck in traffic for one or 2 hours going to work and 2 hours going back home. So that's going to be the new way. In terms of offices, unfortunately, we are going to see a bit of a shrinking in office space requirements, but still we need office space. How are you going to maintain group team building? How do you promote team spirit? So people need to get to office. So the commercial office won't go down. So there's still going to be demand. Maybe it's slowly going to pick up. At the moment, when it comes to commercial, it's still slow, but it's going to pick up. But if we look at industrial, warehousing is going to be big.
Okay, thanks. Wonderful. So let me so it looks like, and I'm chiming in on false also, team. I'm chiming in on false also. And so it looks like around this room we are 100% saying that that we're saying that 100% false. But let me give you the outlook of the room, and we're up to 100 participants at the moment.
Wow.
81% say false. 18% are saying true. Okay, 18% are saying that it is true that you cannot convert. So I want to just take a moment and dive in for just a little while and get deeper under this. VG just took us a moment into some of the changes that we can see, but I want to ask you something. Lizzie, I know with BuyRentKenya, you are the #1 web portal for our sector. You're the #1 that's collecting all of us and bringing us all together, giving us a platform for us to list, and for those of us that have a product to list that product, and for those of them that are looking for a product to come in and to match, some matchmaking. You're doing a dating service, Lizzie.
I wish, but I need to keep my day job.
You're doing a matchmaking service. That's exactly what you're doing, Lizzie. So, I was actually watching an interesting video yesterday of a lady saying that in our, this is beautiful. Y'all are gonna love this. Where she said that the demand is still high, but people don't. But there's some challenges with people's money. Now, I'm gonna want to ask you a question here, Lizzie. Two things. Can it be a demand if people don't have money? Is that demand or is that just interest? Because that's two different things, right?
There is a bit of both. There is demand.
And one second. And my other question is, if people are interested, right? If people are doing window shopping, if BuyRentKenya is seeing people are window shopping now, we have more time to stroll the streets, if you will, and look in the stores and say, well, that's interesting, that's nice. Are your real estate agents successfully converting that interest into sales? What are you seeing as patterns?
So definitely from just looking at our Google Analytics, there is a rise in session, there's a rise in users, and there is a demand for content. So twofold. People with money will definitely invest in this time. Whenever there's a crisis, you will definitely see an interest to invest in real estate, right? There are people who may have downsizing. because they've got less income coming in. So there is a demand for rental properties. For sale properties, maybe people are now thinking, hey, I've got to convert, like Gigi said earlier, my home has now got to have a home office. It's also got to accommodate for e-learning for all the kids who are learning from online platforms right now. So definitely the interest is there, the demand is there for content. It depends what type. When you're looking at the sale content, when you're looking at the rental content, and it's really how we're converting all of this. So I think three things one has to be really prepared for is one, you've got to refocus, right? Right now, people, sales managers and directors are all asking themselves, how do I make my sales organization tick? It's because I've got to let look after protecting my salespeople, keeping them safe, keeping them productive. I've got to sort of retool. How can I sell? Maybe I've got to come up with some online mediums, whether it's videos, whether it's online meetings, 3D formats, and then of course rebound, get ready to bounce back probably post-COVID. So you're collecting all these leads. You just need to account for them. They're already being generated, and it's just keeping them alive so that when you're ready to rebound and they're ready for conversion, you've got a bird in the hand.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Lizzie. Let's see, George, let me come over to you. I think, you know, you and I kind of have a kindred spirit about individual responsibility for the, you know, for their business and for their lives. That's what I love about you. And I love that, you know, one of your signature statements is you are valued. I love that. I love that when you say that. I love it. My heart just warms every time you say it. But let me ask you this question, George. You know, this, as Lizzie talks about the conversion challenge here, you know, at some point, maybe there was before COVID, we may have had, you know, people in our business may have had a conversion rate of you know, you're calling clients and people picking up and ready to engage you at a rate, let's say 8 to 10%. I was doing my research inside of this, in this preparation, and I found that many people in our sector are finding that people are answering, picking up their phone calls from agents at a higher rate of almost 40%. And then it goes back to people are available now. They're a little bit more available, you know, they're a little bit more available now. And they might, you know, like you said, we have an additional 4 hours of our life, VG just reminded us, with this no traffic and so forth and so on. So we almost have a captured audience, right? So it's almost an interesting dichotomy here that we find ourselves in. We have a captured audience who are more available, more time on their hands, if you will. But then we the reality is we're in a pandemic. What do you think is necessary for us to capitalize on that there are people that are available, there are people that are interested? What do you think that is necessary for us to still achieve the income levels that either you're an individual agent that you were sustaining or your business? What do you think is necessary to still sustain that as much as possible?
Wow, thank you, Robin. I think Gigi said earlier that we have people coming to view. I think it's Liz BuyRentKenya, but the rate of conversion is slower. You cannot compare it with you know, before they used to convert, but you find that many people are coming to view the property. For example, a monthly, we get 30, 40 people coming to view, but the rate of conversion is slightly slower, but we encourage the real estate players that keep being compassionate with these customers, because you will require them tomorrow. So the thing is keeping in touch with the customers. You cannot say that you won't advertise, because the customers can easily forget you. So you must play in their minds. And I think, of course, for us, you say that maybe at the rate of 100%, maybe conversion, comparing before COVID, maybe it's 40%, because of you are aware that there are quite a number that are not working. There are quite a number that they are checking their reserves. So to be honest, the rate of conversion is slower, but as a business person, as a real estate person, it is very important to keep talking about your product, to keep in touch with the customers, to show compassion, to tell them, we value you, so that tomorrow you have them. And I'm happy that this is happening. And maybe the thousands that are listening is that this thing is coming to an end. We have to keep afloat as we prepare for a bigger harvest. Yes.
Okay, great. And maybe I can just, maybe VG might have some insight to this because again, it's about, you as a business, you have, all of you are sitting still in offices. And so you have overheads yourself that is still running. And so there are some still financial targets you need to meet in some kind of way. You'll have some shortfalls and you'll have some gaps, and I'm sure you're doing a lot of negotiations with landlords yourself and other suppliers that you might have. But as much as possible, we all want to be working to still achieving the income to, as much as possible, retain our lifestyle and our businesses. So, I think in order to maybe achieve, and maybe VG as a business person, are you saying, have you adjusted your minimal required amount of income, if you will, that you need to achieve? And then what are the inputs? And when I talk about inputs, I mean in terms of activities. Are you telling your team that we need to double down on doing in order to achieve what we used to be achieving before? Because the same amount of work that you did before is not going to give you the same results today. So there's going to need to be a new emphasis of activities, a new emphasis of inputs in order to achieve what you used to do probably easily or in our sleep. VG?
Yeah, thank you very much, Robin, for that interesting question. It is something that we as business people have been grappling with. I had a webinar with my staff the other day. And what you in a business like mine, we have two categories. You've got the support staff who are the finance and administration people, and then you have your professional staff who are what we call the fee earners. Right. Now, fortunately for a company like mine, and for like many others, we're not just a sales, and we're not just an agency team. We're not just an agency company. So we're a multidisciplinary company doing property management. We've got residential sales, we've got commercial sales, and we've got valuation of property for land and buildings and plant and machinery. So what we've seen is that we've seen a bit of an increase in our valuation business. So what happens is that during this sort of pandemic period, we are finding that the valuation is keeping our revenues stable. However, as George had said, our conversion of sales is taking shorter. However, you then maybe find that you might do one big sale that will be able to carry you forward for 6 months of what you would have done in a normal sale if you were selling 3 or 4 properties. So the challenge for a business like us is to continuously motivate the members of your staff that don't look at what your department is producing. We have to continuously look at that we are a team. The next thing we are trying to do is to tell everyone in the office, you now need to develop new skills. So if you are a guy who was in property management, if you're a person in valuation, you also have to think that you can sell a property. So don't just sit there and say, can't do this. You then have to start saying, everyone, if you have a computer, you've got to start learning how to do digital marketing. What can you do within your own network to try and promote the sales and understand everything? So the silo mentality that you had in a company where people start in departments or divisions has to go. And people have to develop new skills to be able to perform across all sectors. So that is what it's going to be. But I think what we also are doing is ensuring that we are tightening our belts. We are telling people if you have any challenges working from home, if it's because of connectivity, the company will pay for your bundles or something of the sort. If you need to connect to home fiber, please let us know. We will do that. But there's still some people who find it convenient to come to the office twice or thrice a week. So it's working well. Of course, it's going to be more collaboration with other players, other property developers or owners who are now willing to reach out to us and say, let's collaborate to achieve sales. Because what you need is a high turnover instead of you sitting down with your property and you got only your own sales team trying to sell it. So we are getting approaches from other companies that have their own properties they're selling, but now willing to try and work with us.
Okay,
wonderful.
Okay, wonderful. Great, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, so Lizzie, inside of this, our business has, we're on the demand and the supply side, if you will. And we need some carrots to reach out to people and get people interested. And of course, that's some marketing. What are you finding, or what is, during this time, what is either BuyRentKenya thinking about or offering to people in this new time for marketing? What are the ways or the top tools, if you will, that you think that during this time we can be using for marketing effectively and what? Yeah.
Great question, Robin. So what is key for all salespeople right now are leads, right? So before it was easy, you would just say, oh, I've got a lead, and you just go through the process, or hey, I've got a customer, he could jump into my car right now, I can take him, go show him the property, and voila, you've signed, sealed, and delivered, right? But now this has all changed. So BuyRentKenya, we're looking and working very closely with our digital marketer, the head of our digital marketing team, using different kinds of performance marketing tactics, email marketing tactics, combining what does the customer actually need? What does the property seeker need in order for my clients, who are real estate agents and developers, to actually convert that lead? So we're delivering, what we're trying to do is qualified leads, so that you're not going to waste the salesperson time in converting that lead. Other mediums that we're using and what we see is a lot of email marketing. So yes, you're probably going to get a lot of your inboxes filled with all kinds of emails marketing you every single service and product. But how do you stand out from the rest is what we clearly define. And there's several ways to kind of look at, we can actually help you with your e-marketing. We can help you with your lead generation using all these tactics. We've also got a CRM system that's built into our back office. If you don't have one, we have one. We can train you, we can help you. Once we identify what is it that you need, and then also we've got a lot of market trend information from our BI teams that can say, hey, these are the demand areas. This is where demand content is required. These are the type of listings we need to showcase in order for you to quickly convert.
Okay, wonderful. Great, thank you. So let me tease a little bit out of there and ask George and VG these two specific questions. As you all know, I used to run a real estate firm myself, an international franchise one, and then also my own. And I am such a big believer on technology, innovation, use, and so like reduction of paper, keeping everything in the cloud as much as possible, but also systematic processes. I love processes, step by step. I should be a tango dancer because it's just 1, 2, 3, step 3. I love painting by numbers, because if it's a proven system, then let us not create a new wheel. There is such a thing as a sales funnel, if you will. If you master that sales funnel and you master every step in that sales funnel, it is it leads you to success, if you will. It leads you to success from prospecting, following up, nurturing the prospects, and then closing that deal. There's a science to that. There is really a science to that process. And so, so one of the things that we started to do, which was that our engagement with the customer, making it automation, if you will, bringing in automation. So I love how BuyRentKenya, if somebody wants to follow up with me on any of my properties, I get an immediate text and a WhatsApp, and it's on me to now do the nurturing, to do the following up, to do all of those sorts of things. And so I just want to hear, Optivan and George, you guys have been, masterful at having relationships both here and in the diaspora. And so I'm just curious, what are the tools that you guys have found effective for that nurturing, for that process, if you will, for the nurturing, for the follow-up, and all of that? Are there any tools of that trade anywhere along that process that you can share with people for them to pick up? George?
Okay, I go first. Wow, thank you. Thank you, Robin. This is very interesting because, as you said, the marketing has got a kind of, tracking whereby you prospect, you build up a relationship, you do updates. But for us at Optivan, what we do is that we do a lot of partnerships, because partnership works. We have done partnerships with financial institutions so that we are able to tap to their market. We have done partnerships with different circles, different organizations, and this has been very, very helpful, especially for us, given that you cannot really do it alone. We also do partnership with other real estate, because right now in this particular time of pandemic, you cannot talk of competition. We can only complement one another, and that's why even we have this particular forum whereby real estate comes together to ensure that we safeguard our industry. And for us, we have been very, very vocal in terms of getting in touch with our customers, both locally and in the diaspora. But I would say that one of the best strategies that supported us is the strategy of partnership. And I'm also very happy to know that some of our partners, of course, you have seen support from Central Bank, whereby the financial institutions were requested to give moratorium to all the real estate, especially those with huge facilities. And I'm so happy to see that financial institutions are giving us about 2 years, whereby you under moratorium, you're not paying a facility, so the money you are collecting, you are able to sustain your organization. And I think there's a very good a way of supporting the real estate industry so that we don't go down like other industries. And of course, for us, we are very good in updating our customers. So if you bought a property at Amani Ridge, the place of peace, we are able to tell you right now we are doing security wall, we are doing CCTV, we are doing the gate. And when you keep the customers updated, they are able to come in. And of course, we also offer them installment payment, whereby you give them 2 years. And this particular type of pandemic, we also introduced a strategy whereby you don't pay interest for 6 months. And this one really inspired a lot of our customers. And of course, on behalf of other real estate firms, I think it's important for you to keep the update going, because one of the complaints the customers complain is that you buy a property today, nobody talks to you, nobody even calls you, so you are in the dark, and especially people in the diaspora. So the secret is keep updating your customers. And of course, automation. Optivan, you have a goal of going paperless, ensuring that most of our processes, they are automated to keep in touch with the thousands and thousands of customers that we are dealing with. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. And maybe George, one second, while you're there, just for, any learnings that you've had in that process, or any challenges you can share with people, anything you've learned about moving to that as an automation, or so that some learnings that people can take away in that process, or anything that nuggets people can glean from that process of either the automation or the process of keeping everybody up to date? Is there any learnings or any I wish we did that better, or something like that?
Yeah, I think, yes, I think the main learning, especially on automation, is that you are able to handle the numbers. The system is able to remind you what you are supposed to do to a certain customer. So I think automation is allowing Optivan to do expansion, because before that we are doing everything manual, so you cannot be able to deal with a lot of customers. And I would like to encourage people in real estate, automation is the in thing, because as you automate, you can be able to do more projects, more product, and also you are able to update your customers real time, other than waiting for somebody to do reconciliation. So those are some of the picking up. And of course, one of the challenges is that automation is not cheap. It comes with cost. So you have to be ready to prepare. And also when you're doing the implementation, it has its own challenges, because sometimes you send messages, 10 messages to one customer before you really get the real thing. So those are some of the challenges, and you must be able to handle them as they come.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And VG, let me tweak the question just a little bit. I think as our sector is adjusting, the market is adjusting also, right? The market is also adjusting. We're in the land of M-Pesa. And so people are used to doing business a certain kind of way. And so is our sector how would you say our sector is in terms of keeping up with that modernization, if you will? How well do you think that we have as a sector kept up with how the market is already moving and functioning in other areas of their life? And then, and where do you see our sector moving or already done or you're doing yourself to keep up with people? People are already used to getting a message on their phone and just boop, done. This is done. How do we keep bringing that to the speed that our market is moving?
Well, just before the COVID started, I'd already realized the need to change in the way we're doing our business. Okay. Sadly, there are not too many of the real estate companies that have realized the need to completely transform ourselves. Mm-hmm. So I have onboarded a consultant, and what I'm trying to do is to develop a digital transformation strategy. Okay. Develop a digital transformation strategy that will look at everything. Yeah. How we do our business, how do we do it digitally, how we do digital marketing, look at our processes, map out these processes, and then say what can be done digitally and what cannot be done digitally. Mm-hmm. So, and try and see but there's also a need of sort of a culture change. Within people. You've got to change the mindset of people. I was speaking to somebody and I asked him, so how is it working from home? And they told me, I can't work from home, full stop. And he's not even trying to think, okay, let me try and think of how I can work from home. He's already his mindset, he can't work from home. He has to get out of the house and get into a car and go to the office. That's the only way he can work. But what's going to happen is that an agent, what you now need is you need your smartphone, you maybe need a tablet, not even a laptop. You can have your desktop at home. I personally don't have a laptop. My phone, make sure that it's got enough charge all the time, and a pad, a tablet, and an iPad, an Android phone, so that you can be able to do everything on the go.
Yep.
Now, what I'm realizing is also the medium of communication. So what is happening, that fewer people are looking at their emails. So everything that's happening is on WhatsApp. So you have to look at WhatsApp, you have to look at your Facebook, okay, to market, for Twitter. I still don't understand how to use Instagram. I think that's not my age group, and Snapchat. But those are things that you need to understand, and Twitter. But WhatsApp has become such a common phenomenon. You need to create broadcast lists so that you can be able to send broadcasts, be able to work using WhatsApp web and things like that. So I think all of us are learning new technologies. And I think because we have a bit of time being stuck at home, you learn one thing new every day. So that's what's going to be. And also starting to appreciate CRMs, customer relationship management systems. The challenge is that there's so many out there. You need to just try and go through this maze and try and find out which is the best CRM to work with. And I think that's what, this is the opportunity, Lizzie, for BuyRentKenya. You need to go out and just show all these agents you are the good person, good to go person for helping them in developing CRMs, training them in digital marketing, be able to understand how you have to keep your client informed. And also then appreciating things like analytics, data analytics. These are important because then you know what message to send to particular groups, age groups, male, female, able to make sure that you have the targeted content. It's yes, having a website, and I must admit I have a website, but we're not keeping it updated. And it's also losing, it's not updated. And that's where we need to get better engagement. And so all the staff have got to start learning how will they be able to use this tool. So that's why the digital transformation. It's not going to be cheap, but the returns will be there.
Very good. Thank you very much, VG. Great contribution. So, I mean, basically, I'm taking away that it's an investment. Now's the time to be making an investment in your business and an investment in yourself. This is the time to be retooling. We said, this is the time to be getting new skills. This is the time to be looking newly at how, because it's great. In our last webinar session, we were talking about moving to prop tech, bringing innovation into our sector. And what we said is that you first have to know the processes down on paper and in real time. What is the process of selling? What is the process of closing a deal? What is the process of going to Artie House and all of that? And then you can look at the digitization, the moving that into, and so if you don't have down the process of sales, and when I talk about the step-by-steps of sales, generating leads, if you don't know how to nurture those offline, there's no hope for you then trying to jump online and wanting some magic abracadabra stuff inside of online something. If you can't do it offline, don't come here beating your computer talking about this thing is failing me. No, you have to have those skills in real person first, and then you're able to translate them to technology only for more effectiveness, right? So the technology is going to bring effectiveness, enhanced effectiveness, but it's not going to bring miracle. It's not going to bring a miracle. So you have to go and study about sales. You have to go and study about all of those processes. And then you need to shore yourself up. Am I ready for this? Am I ready to close a deal? Am I ready to make 10 times more calls today than I used to make before COVID? Am I ready to do that? Because you're not going to be able to put, the same old wine into this new wineskin that we're in right now. You're going to have to bring a new dispensation about how you're going to take on your business and how you're going to finish this. So all of you are executives and you're running businesses at a significant scale. And in each of our agents that are salespeople, either they also are running their own business or they're independent. But in any business, you have to wake up every morning, I'm presuming, and look at you do wake up. You woke up this morning.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And look at what are the key numbers I need to be looking at. Okay. What are the key numbers that are going to quickly tell me the health and the status of my business, isn't it? Yeah, right? There are some key numbers you probably want your team to tell you right off the bat. Maybe it's you have a dashboard some way that presents that for you, that you can quickly take your pulse and find out where am I, where is my business. Or so that's one question I want you to share with people. What's the 1 or 2 numbers that you keep a keen eye on in regards to your business? And then the other thing I want you to this is going to be our last round. The other thing I want you to share with is what do you do to keep your team together on a daily basis? So I know that I used to have my team, and they weren't lovers of it, but it did produce some discipline and so forth. Every morning, a sales call You telling me you telling me the key numbers that I wanted to hear, and even for themselves. So those are the two things I'd like for you to close with. What are the key numbers you're keeping your eye on to know the health and the pulse of your business? And then you're probably asking your team and your other colleagues, okay, what's missing here? What can we do newly or different here to move these numbers in the direction that we want them to go? So if you don't mind, Lizzie, you can start off.
Great. So for us at BuyRentKenya, what is key for me is customer. So customer is my number one priority for my business. So what does the customer need? How can I help that customer? So what is the customer's feedback, both positive and negative? Because the negative helps us push the needle as to how we can improve and what is relevant for them. You know, how does my organization product fit to their needs? So it's understanding that very, very well and keeping them online. I would say the type of content that I have on my website is also very key. Because if I want to convert or have leads, I need to ensure that I've got really good content and the kind of demand content that's necessary. Of course, every CEO like myself is looking at the bottom line, and so you're looking at how are your costs running, what are your overheads, how are my people doing, what is the health of my people. You know, in this pandemic, the number one priority for BuyRentKenya as a company is the health of my people. Because if I don't have the health of my people, I don't have the health of a company to move forward. And then, of course, is your revenue lines. You know, you've got to look at what are your cost-cutting contingencies. Where can I still run a company but work with minimum costs, and at the same time produce results? So finding the right balance. And at the same time, what we've done for customers in this pandemic is offer financial assistance. So yes, and how are we doing that? By offering you a COVID offer, which is offering discount to various players in the market and adjusting to how their business works, what are their marketing budgets, so to speak. You asked, how do I keep teams together? Well, one of the ways we used to do pre-COVID was to have like a 7-minute daily huddle, but now we're just taking that online. So ensuring that sales teams meet daily, they have a daily check-in, they have a stand-up in the morning, everybody tells us what their tasks are, what their top priorities are, what their problems are, what's work in progress. And you do the same with each department, and then you bring your team leaders together, and they kind of feed you in with your 3 PPPs, which is what were your plans, what is the progress, and what are your priorities as well, and also what are your challenges. The constant communication with your team is very, very key in bringing everything together.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And George and Optiven, what are some of the quantitative measures that you are keeping your eyes on?
Well, this is very interesting. Yes, for us, we have quite a number of diverse projects in different counties, and personally, I'm very keen on the visits, the leads, you know, people who do the self-drive to the project. And of course, that's very key. And also commitment. Are there people who say, I want to commit? And of course, daily reports from every individual. You know, daily reports for every individual. And customer feedback. As research, either positive or negative, to check what are these customers looking at. How we keep our staff inspired, of course, we are now working from home, is the constant communication. You know, we have prayer meetings every Wednesday. We have meetings on Monday on Zoom to ensure that they are doing well for themselves and families. And of course, following up the individual targets. And also, we have been very big in terms of giving back to the communities. So we have secured some money to ensure that we are supporting our customers who may be having challenges, the communities, even those who are not customers. Like yesterday, we were able to support about 200 families in Kibera, Madale, Kajiado, Nyeri, and other counties, doing direct cash transfer, and we work very closely with the local administration. So we are very, very keen on giving back, especially at this particular time to the communities through Oxygen Foundation. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful, great. Okay, and so VG, also yourself, and maybe you can also give us a glimpse of, let's say I am your agent and I come to one of your sales meetings. What would you be asking of me, tasking me with?
Well, the focus for me is time over. It's even if they're small, even if they're small, the amounts are small.
Yes.
What we want to do is to see more and more leads generated. For me, my agents, what I want, the emphasis I'm also trying to put on is collaboration. We have an open door policy of collaborating with a lot of agents and sharing our commission. And being honest in what commission we are getting from the client and offering to share it. Or in most sometimes either on a 60-40 basis, or sometimes mostly on a 50-50 basis. What we need is we need consistency, we need to build trust amongst the agents we work with. And for me, I focus on we'll have a small retainer for some of the agents. Some of them we give them the opportunity to come and use our offices for meetings. The bottom line what I'm trying to look at is trying to see what turnaround there is. And I'm saying it's better to get a little than nothing. So that's my principle. It's better to get a small commission than no commission. So that's what we look at. And as long as we're able to meet our basic costs, then we're good to go. But obviously, now that we are during this period of COVID, we now have to start rethinking our strategy and seeing how we're going to work together with all these players, and obviously, and also to enhance on our technology. I must say that we are not 100% there, but we need to now realize and read widely on what is outside the technologies, getting newsletters, understanding what's being done outside the country, internationally, and seeing how we can adapt to them. But one thing is that the system, what you see out there, you have to develop your own Kenyan system. So you need to adapt locally to what you can do. One thing about which is unique to Kenya is that you need to be persistent. You need to be persistent with closing the lead. Once you get a lead, you need to be persistent to be able to push to convert that lead into a sale. And trust is also very important. You will find that if you build trust, you will get the same customer coming back to you on and on and on. So you start thinking about the 80-20 rule, that the 20% of your clients will give you 80% of your growth. So what you need to do is nurture those clients that you've had before, and they will give you more.
Okay, wonderful. So I said that this was the last question, but I lied. You guys opened up something in my thinking. So I want to do I'm giving this question is, I don't want a PC response. I don't want a politically correct response, okay? So you can take that hat down. I want a authentic response. What is it that you think what are the trainings that you think agents need more of? What are the trainings and if there was a school for this, a school for that, a school for that. I'm not talking about knowing this. I'm not talking about knowing how to go and get a sales degree, not at the school, University of Nairobi, not a certificate in real estate. I'm talking about, how to be you, how to get where you are. Okay. What do you say? Hey, you might want. I coach people in being effective and being successful. I know, George, you pour into people. Lizzie, you pour into people. I know, VG, you also are passionate about people being successful. And so what is it? Would you tell somebody, go get this skill, go get that knowledge? So that's, I want to hear that, and and we're not hurting anybody's feelings. So we're just saying, hey, there's a gap in this. There's a gap in the between the those that are present and have come to do the work to what's needed. I'll start with you and come back around the other way.
Or me, it's me starting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think one thing is it's basically life skills. It's nothing that is taught you any university or anything.
Right.
Getting a good mentor, a good coach who can be able to teach life skills, ethics, honesty, integrity, timekeeping. People don't want, if you agree on a time to meet, if you've agreed with a client that we're going to meet at 11, don't come late. Those are small things because they could be what could close a deal or not close a deal. And I think those are the things we just need to grow as agents and put your customer first. He is the most important person to conclude your deal.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you, George. What about yourself?
Wow, just adding what Gigi has said, yes, authenticity, so that you keep the promise. Don't break the customer's heart. And number two, building relationships with your customers and also with other partners, financial institutions. Patience, because success is not an overnight thing. Patience, very, very important. And of course, self-motivation, whereby you have energy oozing from you, not from the outside, so that you are able to motivate yourself and you can be able to motivate other people. And of course, leadership by influence, not dictatorship. Today we are managing people who are young and they do not want to be dictators. They want persuasion. They want to be influenced. They want to be shown the way, leading from the front. That's the only we can be able to conquer this market and go to the next level. And I think, as Gigi said, getting a mentor, somebody tell you the truth, somebody tell you when you are wrong. Because we are in an area whereby many people want to learn quickly. They do not know that Oxygen has been in existence for 20 years. They want to start the business now and tomorrow. They want to overtake Oxygen. We have been there for 20 years, 10 years and not make it. My goodness, these are things that our people need to teach so that we can build up this industry pole. But as Gigi says, honesty, keeping the promise is the in thing.
Okay, wonderful, great, thank you. And Lizzie?
For me, I would advise you, be intentional and be purposeful, even in the time of crisis with what you do. Delighting your customers, whatever you do, make it mind-blowing, right? People buy from people. People buy from people they like. So if you serve them well, with smart marketing, complete customer focus, building that trust, you will definitely succeed. So, for those of us at BuyRentKenya, we're here to help you. We're here to serve you. Pre-COVID, during COVID, after COVID, sign up with us. We can help you with all the things that you need to be. We can even put you in touch with people who are good at mentoring. I've got three of you on this call right now that people can also reach out to. And this is the purpose of these forums. It's bringing us together to help you.
Okay, wonderful, great, thank you very much. So with that, I'm going to draw our session to a close today. I think it's been very informative. I mean, those of you that are attending, we were up at 112 a few moments ago of people that are here. You have heard it from the best of the best in our sector. You've heard it from those that, like George said, he didn't just start yesterday. If he showed us his knees, we probably see a few scars down there. And but I'm sure that inside his heart is proud that he didn't give up. He kept the good fight. BG as well. We know that he has been a strong leader in this sector, and Lizzie has been valiantly leading BuyRentKenya. And so I'm honored to call all of you friend. I'm honored to be in this sector with all of you. And we want to thank all of you that joined us on behalf of Building in Kenya with myself, Robin Emerson, and my co-author, Emma Miloyo. We invite you to go and look for the book where it has all of this information in that book, buildinginkenya.co.ke. And then in our partnership with BuyRentKenya, BuyRentKenya.co.ke as well. We're on all the social media platforms. We thank you very much for being with us. Have a wonderful day and happy selling.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.